Hey guys, welcome to another episode of One Shot Reviews. I'm Chris Long, and above me, somewhere, or now officially to my left, woo, who's that?
Lawrence Edmondson.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
Lawrence, what up, what up, what up?
We're back.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we watch and review the first episodes of various anime and give you our opinions. Nice and easy. Woo. No hentai anime this week. I've been saving them for next week for the final spooky episode of the month. You know it. So this week instead, Lawrence, why don't you tell us what you've been watching?
So this weekend, I rewatched
Mm-hmm.
The Godfathers 1 and 2.
Ooh,
So,
nice.
hold on.
Uh huh.
Speaking of which, on IMDb,
Uh huh.
matter of fact, let me pull this shit up.
have
By the way, guys, IMDb is like one of the greatest apps ever created. By the way.
have
But,
you have you seen them before? These movies?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Good. Classic movies. Everyone should watch them. Let's see. Godfather. I think I haven't. I think I first saw Godfather. I think I was like 8 because my
So,
dad was
check this.
watching it.
See, I'm hip. So, the highest rated movies
Uh huh.
on oh my god, on IMDb,
Uh huh.
right? So the highest is a 9.2. Nothing is over a 9.2 on IMDb. No movie
Damn.
ever. The highest is Shawshank Redemption.
Really? That's
That
number one
same
on
movie that's been
IMDb.
on AMC since we were like fucking 12
Dude,
that we always
they play a
skip.
movie once a week. It's on once a week Sunday night at like 11 p.m. every week. They just constantly play it. They can't stop playing it.
But that movie is actually really amazing.
It's
It's
really
really
good.
good. It's just one of those old movies that we've seen that once and it's like we're never gonna watch it again. But
Right.
like you see it once, it's great, it's really good, and like it's
Right.
like 4 hours long, and you just
Yeah.
never watch it again.
Well, that's why they play at 11 p.m. on AMC because then it'll finish right at 6 a.m. Monday morning, and then they can start all the other programming that they got to do for the day.
Right. But the reason why I brought this up, because guess
uh,
what's number two?
Godfather?
Coming in at a 9.1.
Is it The Godfather?
Yes, it is.
Damn. I wonder
So The
what the.
Godfather is the second best movie of all time. I go by IMDb ratings. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm going to check Rotten Tomatoes
IMDb.
because I think Godfather. Godfather should still be up at like the top. Let's see. Let's
Unbelievable.
see. The Godfather.
And then The Godfather Part 2 is number 3 out of 9.0. Like those movies, yo,
Right.
bro. I rewatched them, bro. They're
Uh huh.
so good. Like they're just so like ahead of their time. Like watching it, I'm just like, yo, their acting was like perfect. Like it's really crazy. Like just the dynamics and stuff. Like
Right. Right.
I don't know. I just love like the mob crime shit. Like I watch Peaky Blinders, and now all of a sudden it's just like I gotta watch every crime mob movie ever. Like, even, but I've seen all of them basically already. Like
Right.
I'm just like, but yeah, man. So I watched Fathers 1 and 2 over the weekend. I think I'm gonna rewatch. I actually need to watch 3 again now. I've watched all 3 of them,
I don't think I
but
ever saw the third one. I know I've seen the first two, but I don't think I ever saw three.
they say so. The third one is the worst out of the 3,
That's what
but bro,
everyone says. Yeah.
the third one is a 7.6 rating.
Damn.
That's really
That's still
high.
good.
It's just not a 9. So people
Right.
are like, yeah, it sucks, but like, no, it doesn't. It's
Right.
actually really good. It's just not as good as like a 9. Like they set the bar so high
Right.
that if it's not this high, then they're like it's trash. It's like if you put that up against any other normal movie, it would toast it. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But
I know on Rotten Tomatoes, one and two are both 98%. So
oh, okay,
clearly, yeah,
so
almost
like
perfect. Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Damn.
But
Shit.
but yeah. So that's what I watched. That's what
Word.
I watched this weekend.
I took an adventure to an actual movie theater this week. Uh,
Hey,
there was no one in it. It was just me. It was awesome. I watched the New Mutants, the final X-Men film before Marvel took them over. Uh,
Okay.
it was it. Everyone says it's bad. Like everyone that reviewed it, like when the movie first came out, like reviewers and everything, they said the movie was terrible. It wasn't that bad, to be honest. It was certainly like not the greatest X Men movie of all time, but it's definitely better than a couple of the ones that they were making towards the end there.
Mm,
It was actually kind of scary too. Like if you're a horror person, it's definitely worth watching. Also,
really?
they went spooky with this one. It was definitely like a lot of horror elements in this movie. I wasn't expecting that. Uh, it was pretty good. It was cool. What else did I watch? Yo,
Bro, you watched everything, bro. Why is your
dog.
list mad bullets?
Well, I finished watching Monster Girl Doctor. I finished that. I'm watching Don Machi and Fire Force week to week. The episodes when they come out on Fridays, and then I started watching this show on Netflix. We have to review it one day. It's called Doro Hidoro. Dude, literally every episode is written with every single person on acid because that's the only way this show could make sense. You have to be on
What?
acid for this show to make any sort of sense. It's about a man with a lizard face who eats people's faces. He doesn't eat them, he just puts their face in his face, and then a man inside the lizard comes out and studies them and tells you if I don't know. It's there's a man inside a lizard man. There's magic. There's two worlds. There's zombies because when it rains, zombies. I don't fuck if I know. All the humans get experimented on by magicians, and everyone's cool. They're like, I mean, dude, if you get fucked up by a sorcerer, that sucks. Whatever. Your life sucks now. Your face looks like a bug. Who cares?
Oh, this sounds
Yeah,
very
it's this show's fucking insane. But I can't stop watching it. I'm pulled into it. It's some girl gets her face ripped off and she dies, but they bring her back to life, but she's missing like half her brain now. So she's like a little effed up in the head. It's weird. Some dude turns into a mushroom. When people die and then they come back to life and no one cares, they're like, whatever, happens. It's like, what?
right.
Show makes no sense to me. I guess the premise is the lizard dude is trying to find his real face because he's all human except for his head, which is a lizard, and so he's trying to figure out, and he has no memory of everything that happened before he became lizard head, so he's trying to figure out what his face is in his past, and that's the show. He also has a man living inside of him. I don't know how that works, but that's a whole thing. And it's not like a little person, it's like a full-bodied grown man is inside of him, just hanging out.
I'm gonna have to read like
It's
this.
insane. It's
This
insane. You
sounds
gotta check it out.
very-
Oh man! But Lawrence, let's talk about that little tidbit of info you gave me yesterday
so
about about a
oh let's,
movie. About a
yeah.
movie.
All right. So Mugen Train
Hell
has
yeah!
come out in Japan, and get ready for this, guys. It's sold over 1 billion, I said, dollars in the box office. That doesn't sound real.
Mind you, it is yen, but still, that's a lot of fucking money.
How much is that then?
It's
Oh, okay.
1.2 billion yen. Let's see, 1.2 billion. I don't want I want yen. Yen to USD is approximately
11
11.
million.
Yeah, almost
That's
11.5 million. But what's impressive about that for an anime movie is other films, like other anime or CG films, the highest over a 3 day weekend was Frozen 2, and that made 1.88 billion yen. So Mugen Train in one day made almost as much money as the highest grossing CG film in Japan in 3 days. That is insane. Weathering with You made 1.5 billion yen across 3 weekends, and Spirited Away made 1.05 billion yen over a Saturday and Sunday. So Mugen Train is destroying all these films. It's estimated that it's going to make more than 3 billion yen just this weekend. That's insane for an anime film. Almost $30 million for an anime film in just its opening weekend is crazy, dude.
Bro, like, can you just imagine just writing a story and it fucking turning into, bro, you just made 11 mil, bro.
In a
Like,
day, in a day, dude. Not even a full day. Like that's from like 5 p.m. to midnight. Because let's be real, people were at work or at school during the day, so they all had to wait till they got out. That's insane, dude.
I
There are
guarantee,
live action Hollywood movies that don't even make this much money, like in its entire run, let alone its opening night. Like this is insane.
oh my God, man. I bet you Japan is like buzzing right now. Like, did you guys see it? Yo, it's in Japan, it's probably like when, what's it, shit, the part two of the war with Thanos, what's it called?
Oh,
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War.
It's probably like when Infinity War came out. You had to book a theater, you couldn't watch it for like 2 weeks
Dude,
unless you booked the actual.
I booked a ticket to watch that film 6 months in advance. Like 6 months in advance, tickets went on sale, and I almost didn't get a ticket. That's how insane that movie was, dude. I'm reading right here. This movie on just its first day one had more than 800,000 and 900,000 admissions in its opening day. And that was the record. 900,000 in Japan was the record for an opening anime film in Japan. And it said Demon Slayer like destroyed it.
Oh, this shit better be. This shit's about to be so.
And when you think about it, it's a Friday, so ticket sales are a little lower on Fridays because it's a Friday, so people don't have all day to go see movies, and
Uh,
it's the middle of COVID, so theaters have limited seating also. So just think about that, like how crazy that must have been in Japan to see this movie.
right.
People want to see it. I can't wait for us to finally get it. Gonna be insane,
I can't wait.
dude. It's gonna
Uh,
be awesome. Oh, jeez.
shit,
But
what were we talking about? Oh yeah, man. But we're
speaking
gonna see.
of, dude, when that movie
5 months.
comes up in like 5 6 months,
It's gonna be nutty over here though. It's gonna be crazy.
the
Like people are gonna flock it.
America loves that show. So
Yeah,
when that
nah.
movie comes out,
You
it's
think we're
gonna
gonna be?
sell.
You think we're gonna? I don't think it'll be
Uh,
as much as Japan, but we'll. I think we'll.
let's
It'll
see,
definitely maybe
highest grossing anime film in United States. Let's see what
the
that is.
hype. Maybe if the hype is like crazy, you know.
Let's see. The current breakdown of the top 10 highest grossing anime films in the United States is as such. Can you guess what number one is? When was this? No, this can't be right. When was this made? This was made in March? What? Bullshit. It's
Hold
saying
on.
that Pokemon the
Don't tell me.
movie.
Don't tell me.
Oh, I told you. It's saying that Pokemon the first movie
That
is.
doesn't surprise me. That
is
doesn't surprise me.
but then it's saying Pokemon 2000. Okay, I guess it is because Dragon Ball Broly Super is number three. So I guess that
So
makes
the
sense.
highest anime film ever watched in
And,
America is Pokemon, the first movie.
yeah,
I believe that
right?
because Pokemon was definitely when those movies came out when we were kids, it was lit. They had the cards at like McDonald's and Burger
Oh
King. They
yeah, you
had
got like
nah,
the ancient Mew or whatever it
yeah,
was.
bro, yeah, the ancient
Oh, you're
Mew
right,
card. Like I was nuts. It was nuts when they came when that came
dude.
out.
It made almost double what the number two movie in the United States is, which is
What?
Pokemon the movie 2000.
So they just run the board basically. Okay,
Yeah,
that would
and then
then
Dragon Ball has number three. Yu-Gi-Oh's number four. It goes down. Pokemon 3, the movie's number six. So there you go. They got three of the top six spots filmed by the first three Pokemon movies.
facts.
Oh
Uh,
shit. But speaking of throwing balls at little monsters and making them your slaves, let's talk about this week's show. Woo!
so he had to go with signature in there. So this week's show, guys, we were watching Soul Eater,
Hell
which is
yeah.
a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by S2e4. Ran between April 7th, 2008 and March 30th, 2009. We got 51 episodes. So
Pretty good chunk.
that's the very doable anime.
I think
50.
it's on Netflix, broken up into like 4 seasons. I think, and I think
Okay.
each season's like an arc kind of deal. Um,
Okay. Oh, then
yeah,
that's good. Different, like four or five different arcs.
yeah.
Um, so the summary is we're set at the Death Weapon Meister Academy. The series revolves around three teams, each consisting of a weapon meister and at least one weapon that can transform into a humanoid, trying to make the latter a death scythe and thus fit for use by the Academy's headmaster Shinigami. The personification of death, they must collect the souls of 99 humans and one witch in that order. Otherwise, they will have to start all over again.
Hell yeah.
The genres are action, dark comedy, dark fantasy, and supernatural. The theme song for the first 30 episodes is
Resonance.
Resonance by
But
C.
it's
Yo,
like
bro, did you
spelled
do that
weird.
on purpose? How did you
No, no,
spell
no.
that?
That's how it's spelled. I know you were like,
Because
do
you
I
were like,
say
let me
it?
find something to put in here to.
No, no. That's how it's spelled.
Okay, so the first two letters are capital, then everything else is
So
lowercase.
it
So
speaks
that's
to
why I
the
was
like
like,
resonance or no, but
yeah, I was like,
it's
they
just
want me to
resonance.
pronounce this a certain way. By TM Revolution. Uh, that's the artist. Um, Writing for Crunchyroll, Kara Dennison included Soul Eater on a list of 5 creepy anime for your Halloween party list. Really?
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Playlist. A lot of people had a lot of good things to say. Um, Feel free to look those things up because we won't. That's what you
Hey, don't forget the winky face. I didn't actually think you'd read that.
I just went
Yeah,
through the
there's
guy.
a yeah, a shit ton of people had a lot of good stuff to say about this show. I didn't feel like writing 8,000 different good reviews. Um,
So,
yeah,
Chris,
what's up?
as a ma-
Hit me.
let me just ask you this one thing, and then you can just go ahead. So, you remember the anime story that I was told you about that I was writing? When we both showed each
Yeah,
other our
yeah,
own,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
writings and all that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing in my anime that I wanted to do was involve different kinds of weapons. And so I was doing like weapon research and stuff. And one of the
Uh-huh.
weapons that I looked into was the miniature sights, one in each hand with the chain connecting it.
Yeah.
I had to look that up and I found the name. I forgot what the name was, but I was Googling it and people were like, oh, yeah, so and so uses that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I looked it up and I saw a picture and I was like, all right, cool. That's this show, isn't it? The dude
Yeah.
has like
Yep.
short green hair. So he's like, and he has,
Were they calling him Black Star? Yeah,
yeah, I think
that's this. Yeah.
so when I saw the pictures of this and I was like, oh, this is that
Yep.
show for that weapon that I was where the dude had, and I was like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I was like, so
Yep.
this is what people are talking about. So that's when I was like, okay, people know what like this show is, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can tell like, oh, people know it, like it's a well-known show depending on like how people talk about it or you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, so that's what they were talking about, this show on Netflix.
Hell yeah. I like Black Star when they show his signature because it says black and then it's got like the pentagram for the devil
Oh,
as like the
oh
star.
that's pretty
So that's kind of
okay.
cool. It's like black and like some crazy graffitied cursive and then just like a pentagram underneath it for the star. I'm like that's a pretty cool way to spell his name. Um,
Is that him? Yeah, no, this is definitely him. Yeah, it's this guy. Yeah,
nice. See, now you gotta watch the show. See?
yeah. Is he like a main character or something?
Yeah, he's one of the three teams. That there's we met the first team, which is Maka and Soul.
Mhm.
At the end of the
Oh, got
episode,
you, got you, got you.
yeah, at the end of the episode, they tease Black Star and Subaki, which is his weapon's name is Subaki. And then I won't spoil who the third team is because you don't get to that till episode 3. Woo. But
Got you, got you. Okay, all right, all right, go ahead. You get started. You're like,
No,
this
for
is pretty.
sure. Yeah, yeah. So the show, it starts off with telling you what Death Weapon Meister Academy, or the DWMA. Essentially, they were built. By the way, it takes place in Nevada. If you didn't know this, it takes. Yeah,
Really?
this city is in Nevada, and the DWMA was created to stop evil souls into becoming evil gods, and pretty much the personification of death runs the school, and he has little meisters that get weapons that can turn into humans, and he has them go around and trying to save the world pretty much from these evil death gods. So we get that little explanation, and then of course the theme song, kind of a banger. I love that song. What do you think of it? You like it? Did you like it? He's like, nah,
Um,
song sucked. I hated it.
Let me listen to it one more time.
It's pretty. I
I
like it.
forgot.
It's got like a cool Halloweeny kind of vibe to it for for a thing.
My bad. I forgot. I can't find it, but I'm gonna listen to the song again and I'll let you know.
Stay tuned next week, people. What'd you think of the art style? Did you like the art style? Oh, he's listening to it. I can hear him. You can see him. He's bopping to it.
um, I didn't catch it from the very beginning, so I'm gonna listen to it from the very beginning after this. But what I think about the art style is definitely different in
Okay.
terms of this isn't like a normal like art style that you would see,
No.
but it was um it was I feel like it was like it's like normal, like it wasn't I didn't look at it and was like oh this looks like movie quality, and I wasn't like oh this is trash. It's just like it
It's like a
seemed like just a
different.
different style that
Yeah.
someone is introducing type shit.
My favorite thing
um,
about the art style is the sun and the moon, because the sun is has like a face
Ooh.
on it, but then it's got like spikes coming out of it, and then the moon's got like a creepy face, and it's like like bleeding blood out of it, which is kind of
So
cool.
I didn't know that counts. Yes,
Yeah,
that was very cool.
that counts. And they like make noise whenever they're shown in a scene. They'll have like a low rumbling laugh whenever they're on scene, which is kind of cool. So
um yeah, no. I thought I noticed that and I thought that like had something to do with something. So I kept like
no,
low key paying attention to it. Like, is something gonna happen? But no, that
no,
was
it's
really I like that. The moon definitely looks kind of creepy and it's just like it's about to do something. So I was like, there's no way he's just gonna sit up there all day
no.
looking
He's
like
gonna
blood
sit up
outside.
there all day just like that for the
And
next
that's
51
exactly what
episodes, dog. The next 51 episodes, he's gonna be up there drooling blood and making weird laughing noises, and that's it. That's all it does. So after all that, the show starts off with a woman. She's killed. Did you realize who the guy's name was? You realize that whole scene, that historic opening scene.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. Do you know who he
And I was
was?
like, he's a serial killer, right?
Yeah, but so his whole thing was he only killed prostitutes in England. So I thought it was kind of clever that they had Jack the Ripper, a crazy dude who uses knives, and he only was going after women in the beginning. So I was like, oh, people who actually know anything about Jack the Ripper are gonna like that little tidbit of information. So that was kind of cool.
Okay.
Dude, throughout the whole show, every enemy is either a real serial killer or a like some sort of mythological thing that people like. Every single one of them, which is pretty fucking cool.
An interesting
Yeah,
tidbit.
and almost none of them are like how they are in real life. I mean, Jack the Ripper in this was a dude crawling around on all fours with like fucking Freddy Krueger claws, and he could like jump around and shit. That fight scene too is actually pretty well animated for like an opening first fight scene where Maka is sitting there and she's got Soul, and Soul turns into like this cool scythe, and he can like talk to her while they're fighting the thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then yeah, like the intro says, they have to kill 99 demons, eat their souls, and when they die, it's like an orb of like a colored fire, and Soul has to eat that, and then he has to eat a witch's soul, and then he can become pretty much a super powerful weapon that Death himself can go wield, and that's what every weapon is trying to become. And so, did you watch this in English or in Japanese? When you were,
Japanese.
did you notice the when so you know how they when they had to write into the window the number to call Death so they could communicate with him? Do you remember that scene? She like
Yeah,
fogs.
252 something, and then she put like it was like 24.24.555544, some shit like that or some
So
shit. I know exactly
so
what you're talking about.
yeah. So do you know what those words sound like when you say them out loud in Japanese?
Oh, 42, 42. Hold on, I'm watching it right now. 42, 42, 544.
So if you say
What?
those in Japanese, it says "die die kill" is what the words say when you say those out loud. So she literally says "die die kill" and then death shows up on the other side so she can talk to death. I thought that was fucking cool.
How do you know?
It said
How do you
so. I don't know. Were you watching it on Netflix or?
Yeah.
I forget where I think I also watched it on Netflix or something. But a subtitle popped up that
I'll
said,
have one of those
Yeah,
things.
when you say these out loud, it says "die die kill," like in that order. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
42,
Um,
564, yeah.
so yeah, we find out a little bit of Maka's backstory. Her mom was also a Meister, and her dad is actually Death's Death Scythe, if that makes sense. So the Grim Reaper has a Death Scythe, and that's Maka's dad. And she hates him because he's kind of like a player who's always like cheating on his mom, but he's always like, I'm not doing that, I promise, and blah blah blah. So they have this whole funny little, that's like the comedic little humor part of the thing. What's up? I can see you got a question. I can see it.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear this through the mic?
I can't
No,
hear
no,
what
I'm
you're
not.
listening to.
You hear the extra because I don't want there to
No,
be a
no, no.
voice. All right, cool. Because I can
You
see
good.
this pick up when you're talking. So I'm like, I don't know if you hear
People at
the.
home are going, "What the fuck? What are you talking about, Lawrence? Goddamn."
But okay, cool. As long as
Nah,
you
you're
can't
good.
hear.
Nah, you're
Then,
good. You're good.
all right, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, that's fine. But yeah, so I guess Maka's dad is the death scythe of the Grim Reaper, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
And
he's the death type of the actual
Grim
the
Reaper,
one
yeah.
the
So the dude,
principal of.
yeah, that's
Okay,
death. That's
okay.
actual death. Yeah.
So her father was so her dad was his weapon.
No, still is. Yeah.
So who's her mom then? You said her mom.
We haven't
Her
met her
mom.
yet, but she death is saying like, oh, your mom was the strongest like human that could wield a weapon, and your dad's the strongest weapon, and now I use your dad. So when you become a death scythe, now death uses you instead.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just don't know
Okay.
who the mom is because they just never introduced her in the episode. We just saw her dad.
Okay.
So then we gotta go kill. Do you know who they have to kill? Did you get this reference? Dude, I love this show. There's like a million references in this thing.
They have to go kill the witch. They have to kill the
Yeah, but
witch.
do you remember what her name was?
Blair.
Blair. Do you get
Oh
it?
God.
Do you get it?
Blair Witch.
I thought that was funny.
Yes.
Dude, there's so
Yes.
many references in this show. It's
They
crazy.
do that on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. So the Blair Witch, they got to go kill her. And of course, they do another classic funny moment where Blair's taking a bath and Soul jumps in on her while she's taking a bath because he wants to kill her. And then they
Probably
spend
fan
like,
service guys out there.
yeah. And then, of course, they spend like 7 days trying to kill her, but they can't because he keeps getting the bloody nose because she has the hots for him. And he's like, oh my God, a hot girl. So, which is funny. I love how she uses like pumpkin attacks also to like beat the shit out of them too.
It's like,
She's
yo,
like
like,
pumpkin cannon, they die.
okay, answer me this one question. Does
What's
the
up?
fighting get better concepts than
Yeah,
fighting
yeah, yeah.
pumpkin?
No, this was just like here's a funny little
Okay.
thing. So the first 3 episodes of the show are prologue episodes, and they introduce all the teams. So this is Maka's team, and episode 2 is Black Star and Tsubaki, I think is his weapon. And then episode 3 is the other team. I won't ruin that for you. But and then
Okay.
so episode 4 is when like the real show starts. So the first 3 episodes are kind of like yeah.
Sounds exactly like how Vinland Saga started.
Yep.
Vinland
Exactly.
Saga is amazing, and it starts a fish like really, really the story in the fourth episode. So you
Right.
got to go through three introductory,
Yeah.
then fourth. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's literally just like introducing all the people. Here's the world we live in. All right, cool. Let's get down to business. So essentially, they finally beat Blair, and Soul eats her soul. But it turns out Blair isn't actually a witch. She's a cat with a shit ton of magic power, essentially. And they're like, "Well, why aren't you dead?" And she's like, "I'm a cat dog. I got 9 lives. You just ate one of my souls. I got 8 more. What are you talking about? So because they ate a cat soul instead of a witch's soul, they have to start all over again. So now they're back at 0 souls eaten instead of the 99, and that sucks. But
No, it's terrible.
but we do learn a whole thing where because Blair says like, oh, why don't you join me instead of being Maka's weapon, and Soul like takes up the offer at first, and Maka gets all pissed off and calls him like a pig, and she's pissed out, and she hates men essentially because of her dad, and Soul just wants to be like a cool weapon. His whole thing's being like the cool dude, and all of a sudden he's just like, oh well, obviously I would never cheat on you, Maka, because that's just totally uncool. And then they like kill Blair. But I thought that was like an interesting, like, Maka hates men, thinks they're all disgusting pigs, and Soul just wants to be like the really cool dude in town that everyone looks up to because he's like the coolest guy around. But they have like this interesting dynamic where Maka will always trust Soul because she knows Soul will never like betray her or anything. So I thought that was kind of like an interesting like power dynamic into the two of them. They're also badass fighters too. And I love how in the design too he can change his shape of the scythe. Like when he's about to kill Blair, his arm gets like the
Yeah,
massive scythe, which is cool.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's like still human except for his arm, which is like a giant scythe, and like he can keep
Yeah.
changing whenever he wants, which is cool. Um, so I thought that was pretty dope. And then the end of the episode has the introduction of Black Star, where he's like hiding in the shadows, and he's got
Did
Tsubaki
I
with
miss
him.
that?
It's right before the end credits. He's chilling up there essentially, and they're like, oh, he's a super powerful assassin, but he has one flaw, and then the episode cuts out. Because I was gonna say, did you see who they were gonna kill or try and assassinate?
Nah. Did I shut it off right after? Or
It was right after that scene and right before the credits rolled. They introduced Black Star.
oh, Black Star. I see.
Yeah, he's about to go kill Al Capone and all of his little henchmen. So,
Oh, yeah.
so episode two's lit. I think you'll like episode two if you stick with it. Oh man, but yeah, the episode ends right before he can fight Al Capone.
So yo, check this out.
Mhm.
Oh no, I didn't see this. Black Star. He's an assassin. Okay. I guess I cut it. I stopped it before that part. Um. So obvious for this is reminds us of a show,
What show?
Shinigamis and swords having actual embodiments of a real soul.
It reminds
It's
Lawrence
like,
of his least favorite show of all time.
but so the thing is, because the real hit people already get it. We don't
Yeah,
even have to say it. The thing is, I don't. I was having a discussion actually with Bethany about this, but I don't necessarily think that means, oh, this show's copying this show. I
right.
think that's just the Japanese. That's what they believe.
Yeah,
So they make multiple shows with Shinigami, and Shinigami
I'm trying
isn't
to
just a
think.
Bleach thing. Like
No, because
Bleach didn't
Shini.
create Shinigami. It means Grim Reaper. A
Yeah,
Shinigami is a Grim Reaper. So
right.
just in general, Japanese culture, a
I
Shinigami
think. I
is like a Grim Reaper.
think
So like,
Shinigami. I think Shinigami actually. It's Grim Reaper, but also is a Death Spirit or Death Bringer. Because I was gonna say in Death Note, the Shinigami are Ryuk and the other demons that have the Death
oh,
Notes.
I
Those
forgot
are
about that.
they're
See,
all
like
they're all Shinigami too. Yeah,
Shinigami is like a thing in
yeah,
Japanese culture. So I don't want to say like, oh, these shows are copying these shows. It's like,
no,
nah,
definitely
they
not.
all use it. It's it wasn't
And
created by that show. It's been created. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
and another thing, like if people are like, oh, what about the weapons and everything?
That is one thing.
Well,
You
so
about to
the
teach me
thing.
something because I was like, oh,
So the thing about weapons is weapons have a big history in Japan. But have you heard of the Masamune sword, the most powerful sword in Japanese history? It's the sword. It's
bro,
Jesus,
that used to be him. That used to be a Mega Man.
Mega Man stole it.
Masamu, it did as much
So
damage as you lost. It was crack.
so Masamune was actually a swordsmith back in the late 1200s to early 1300s, and he made a lot of. I think he created. Did he create the first katana? Oh, dog barking. Sorry for the dog barking, people. There's a dog. Um, yeah, so I think he made the first katana. I'm not sure. There are different variations of that type of sword. Um, but oh yeah, he created swords and daggers known in Japanese as tachi and tanto in the Soshu tradition. So pretty much he was the greatest swordsman that ever lived. And he had a student called Muramasa. I don't think he was a direct student, but he was.
Oh,
Yeah, so you have the Masamune sword and the Muramasa sword, and the legend is that Masamune sword is the most powerful sword in existence, and it's about pure light and fight for good. And Muramasa is the evilest sword in all history, and it was pretty much Masamune was created to protect, and Muramasa was created to kill, and that's a whole legend, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, so weapons have been a huge thing in Japanese culture for a long time. So that's why a lot of anime give a lot of importance to weapons and stuff, like Bleach, like Soul Eater.
as in
There's
like they embody a person, like a
or
soul.
spirits or abilities, and
Okay.
that's why you see in a lot of Japanese, like in what is it, Demon Slayer, how all the weapons have abilities. That's
Mhm.
where it comes from, Japanese tradition and all that, where people think that weapons can actually have special abilities and stuff in them. So
Got you.
that's a so again, no show is copying from any other show. They're just all semi-similar, just because of the myths and beliefs and traditions that Japanese culture has.
Okay,
But
boom.
so there you go.
So that's that. That was one thing. This is I definitely think this is a shonen. This is definitely like
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
a younger, for like high schoolers and stuff. This is definitely one of those. But
It's
the
like,
concept seemed really cool.
I want to say, like, atmosphere wise, it's kind of like Dragon Ball, where like 80% of the show is just like lighthearted fighting, cool, blah blah blah. But then when you get to the main villain of every arc, it gets really heavy. Like the plot line and
Okay.
why people are fighting, it's really heavy. Like think of like when Vegeta first showed up and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, this is just dope ass fight scenes, big dudes beating the shit out of each other." But then after Goku dies and he has to come back to fight Vegeta, and you find out why Vegeta's there and all that shit, and then he turns into the Great Ape, you're like, "Oh, this is all right. This is some important life lessons we're about to learn. Holy shit!" And then same with the Frieza saga, where you're like, "Oh yeah, now there's aliens, and we're gonna fight these cool little alien monsters." And then Frieza just starts murking people, and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. We're not on little kid stuff anymore. This is real shit." Okay, hold up. And then Goku gives his super famous speech right before he kills Frieza at the end. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, screw you. So it's pretty much what this show does, where it's like super funny, super lighthearted, blah blah blah, but then the big baddie shows up, and then it gets like super serious for a little bit.
Mhm.
But it definitely falls into shonen category, I think. Definitely a shonen.
Mhm. And yeah, I just thought the concept of their teammates and the Shinigami is a teammate with their weapon. I just thought that was cool. But I will
Right.
always think that's cool. That's
Right.
just a concept that I really enjoy that I think
Mm-hmm.
is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, but but yeah.
What do you
So
think of the
that's
show? Do you like it or?
yes, yeah, yeah. I this is a show that I would definitely watch like the first season to see how much I like it,
Mm-hmm.
see how ill it is, but it definitely has um the points that I'm interested in.
Right.
The how the teams and stuff like that. The fighting looks like it could be decent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in the first episode, it was a little more like I feel like it was a little more playful, but
For sure.
I've like you just told me about the whole thing about Black Star and about other people. I've heard this before. I've heard of this show before, so it's another one of those things that could possibly be on the radar that I just needed more people to talk about it before I was like, all right, let me go ahead and watch it now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, for example, just like Black Clover. Like I watched Black Clover because everybody would always talk about it. I'm 60 episodes in, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Black Clover is kind of mid, but I still checked it out.
Right.
60 episodes worth. If this was Black Clover, I would have finished it. Black Clover just has 130 something plus, and I'm like, damn.
Right. Right.
But So this, I would do the same thing with this because it has concepts that I'm like, okay, I am interested in that fighting and all. You know me, like I just, that's cool. That's what everybody
Right,
likes. So like, I would check this out because I like the concepts of my sword is somebody, and I work
right.
with them to kill people, and I just think that's fire. So,
Hell
but
yeah.
yeah, nah, I would definitely check it out. And the whole Black Star thing, because of specifically the story that I would like to write and the
I was
fact that
gonna
I
say, I think if you watch
check it
episode
out.
2 and you see just Black Star's backstory, you'll get hooked on the show, because
I have
he has like a lighthearted introduction with the whole Al Capone scene, but then it's like a really dark ending to the show when he has to like
got
figure his shit out, and I think you'll like it. It's
got you.
it's like a, I'm trying to think. Um, you've seen Fate Stay, Unlimited Blade Works, right? Have you seen that show?
No,
Have you seen any of the Fate Stays?
no, I
I
don't
know
even
what
know.
we're watching in November, because
Fate
that's a
Stay.
show. Fate Stay Night. Oh god, Fate Origin Dog. Oh, we got some shows to watch in November, people. I hope you're ready. Um,
He does this on purpose, knowing
I'll
damn
explain. I'll explain off air. Then I don't want to spoil it for
his
people.
watch range is way bigger than mine, man. I've never seen that.
I just haven't, dude. Because Fate Stay series is 100% up your alley. Like I know
Really?
you'll love your show. Oh yeah, it's all action, thinking man like shows. It's like when they're not fighting, it's like psychological mind games, and then the fight scenes are like insane crazy.
When did it come
So
out? I've never heard of
uh,
it.
I forget when it came out, but it used. So the thing with the Fate Stay series is it was a like a light novel game, and what they did was they made, and in the game you can romance different women, and so what they did for the show was they made the show based off of one of the women that you romance, and they did that. Then it was really popular, so then they made a prequel to show like how everything got up to that point, and then they made another show where it's like, okay, here's what would happen if you romanced this woman. And then they're now making 3 movies, which I think are actually all out now, where it shows what happens when you romance the third and final woman, which is pretty dope. And
Okay.
the show is like fucking insane, like whichever one, and like the first two are kind of similar because the women are kind of similar, but then the third one is just a fucking wild shit show of stuff that goes on. It was insane. And
Okay.
then the show also has like 18 knockoff shows that are going off. It's a really popular series. We'll talk about it off air.
Fate stays. Okay.
They're really good.
We'll definitely check it out.
Hell yeah, man. No, I like this show. I like spooky shit. I'm a slut for spooky shit. So Soul Eater was I'm like, damn, fight scenes, weapons that can talk, and everything's based off of monsters and all that shit. I'm down. Hell yeah. So I love the show. And I mean, a moon that just kind of babbles in the sky and bleeds blood. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? That's pretty dope.
Yeah. It's so Chris, if we were to do the one word before the show introduction thing, what word would you use?
I would use monstrous, because it's filled with
Mon
every monster and mythological thing. It's got every monster. It literally has, it has Frankenstein. It's got Dracula. It's got the Blair Witch Project. It's got Al Capone. It's got Jack the Ripper. It's got everyone.
you
If you
watch
can,
this whole thing?
oh yeah, I watched this show like 6 years ago. It came out in
Oh shit.
2008, I think. It ran from 2008 to 2009.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Damn.
I watched this like 5 6 years ago. It's really good. I would say monstrous, or the I would say welcome to the monster-filled, action-packed first episode of Soul Eater. That's how I would describe it. Woo!
Okay.
Hell yeah!
And the last thing I want to say is it's like um Bleach in the fact that like your weapons are is a person, but we just went over that that's Japanese culture.
Hell yeah!
But the difference between I feel like this and Bleach and Zanpakuto's Those is that the relationship that Maka had with Soul
Mm-hmm.
seemed to be a little closer. Like you talk to them more than the
Yeah.
Shinigami do with their
Well,
Zanpakuto.
because
They're more
they're not in sword form the whole time. You know, they're
right,
like they're just chilling in human form for the most part,
right.
and then they
So
transform when you're ready to fight. So I
so
thought that
this
was cool.
show gives you a more joint. I feel like you're gonna grow closer to their weapon more as characters
Right.
because you see them more and they interact with their whatever you want to call it, the person
Hell
who
yeah.
wields them. So that's one thing that like if you're it's cool that their weapons are people and they use them, but they actually have like genuine relationships that you get to see on screen a lot. So that's
Right,
another
right.
thing. In case you guys, were interested in that.
Hell yeah, man. But
So
anyways, that's our review. We both liked it. We enjoyed it. Hope you guys watch and enjoyed as well. And Lawrence, hit us with that outro. You do it. You're
so
better than me.
guys, we can be followed on Twitter at reviews shot at reviews shot REVIEWSSHOT. You guys can send us an email, one shot reviews pod at gmail.com. That's one shot reviews pod at gmail.com. Our IG is _ one shot reviews. We now have a YouTube, guys, so go check that out. I've been trying to push that as much as I can. One shot reviews. Just look for our logo because it took me a while to find it just scrolling because we're not as popular yet.
Like and rate and subscribe and share, and we'll get more popular.
like, rate, and subscribe. Damn, now I'm gonna be one of those people who are saying that over video.
Good, do it.
People
Say it. Get used to it. Start saying
just
it.
make sure you like and subscribe, guys, because this helps the channel out just as much as it helps you out, and we appreciate you guys. Just
Hell
make
yeah.
sure you like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe, and one last thing, just make sure you like and subscribe. Okay.
Listen. When you like and subscribe, leave a comment. All right. Tell me what your favorite gourd is. How about that? Let's see. That's now you're gonna go research gourds because you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. So everyone, when you like and subscribe.
Gara had one. Fuck out of here.
So when y'all like and subscribe, like, review, leave me a comment, your favorite gourd. Lawrence is going to read through all of them, and he'll pick a winner next week of who he thought had the best gourd, and then nothing will happen.
No, they can play me in the entire anime.
There you go. Yes, there you go. I'll ask you both a question, and then the winner will get this. Here we go. Sorry for the close mic. Get this little trophy that I'm currently the king of.
That I need. How have I been on this for months and I still don't even have one? It's kind of wild.
Well, maybe if you won once in a while, you'd get one. God damn.
Fuck you.
But anyways, Lawrence, tell us next week's episode.
Next week's episode, y'all not getting me no more from here on out, man. We watched in high
Lawrence
school.
foolproofed himself, so he can't mess this up.
High School of the Dead.
Have you heard of that one? Have you seen this?
I've never heard of it.
Damn. Have you seen Night of the Living Dead, the OG one?
Like the movie?
The black and white movie, or even the one when they're in the mall with the zombies and shit. Have you seen any of those?
Yeah.
Damn, Lawrence, I need to make you watch zombie movies.
It's probably mad long. Zombie movies. I don't go crazy over zombie movies anymore. I just feel like there's so many that I've just kind of like.
Hell yeah, there are.
Like 31 days and 30 nights, or what's it called? 31 nights.
28 days later. That one.
28 days later.
31 nights.
Unless it's that one, or like I fucked with, The Walking Dead, and then that went to like season 80, and I was like, bro, it's a lot.
When Negan showed up, I was like, I'm done. This is dumb.
After Negan was when I stopped. Like when Negan showed up, okay, I was like, damn, this is crazy. And then I'm like, there's more. I'm like, man, like I can't.
I stopped because I knew there'd be more. I was like, dude, they're gonna go another 8 seasons. I'm not doing this. I'm done. This is it.
He said it.
After you gave me that stupid ass farmhouse season, I'm not falling for this trap anymore. I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing this shit. But anyways.
But yeah, guys.
High School of the Dead is an homage to any of those George A.A. Romano zombie movies. Check those out in preparation for next week's episode. Lawrence will like it. There's a lot of blood and guts and zombie killing. I love it. All with high schoolers. It's great. Everyone's dream. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening. See you next week.
Thanks for listening, guys.
And stop.